Hi, I'm Pantazi. Today we're going to talk about the next target in Hohan Sokens notes. This will be the fourth one. It's on the Judan or the upper level, and it is not a fatal target like the other ones. This is for more for fainting. Okay, and what happens is when you strike this target, it affects many different systems in the body. Okay, but again, it is not fatal. Now, I had the pleasure of talking to a person when I was teaching down in Ecuador. He was a street fighter, and he had come in to see what the Kyusho was all about because he had a question. His question was, he always used this target. Now, he didn't know the name of it or where it came from. This was just something his father taught him. I guess he grew up in a rough neighborhood, rough times, whatever. And he had used it about 20 times, he said. And each time he used it, it had the same effect. Knocked the guy completely unconscious. They dropped, and the fight was over. And he said he just used a regular fist, okay, and adapted to it. Now, as we get into the target itself and what Hohan Sokens said on it, you can see that he uses specialized weapons. He uses the Sokens as an example, which is the Shokin, Phoenix Eye Fist, Trigger Finger, whatever you want to call it. And for that, what we did was we experimented a little bit. Now, when you hit this target with a fist and you get a result that knocks the person unconscious, which is what Hohan Sokens alluded to, because it stifled the motor senses and the cranial nerves, he was using this, and we were wondering why he would do that. And we found out, we developed the idea on how to use it using the Sokens, okay, as opposed to a fist or dagger or whatever instruments or tools he was talking about. Very powerful. I've not done this in a fighting application. I've had self-defense conflicts, and I've used Kyusho, and it works perfectly. But I have not used this target. But I have seen it used in a real situation. A long time ago, when I first started practicing, I went to a club, and there was a doorman, and he was big. He was about 6'2", my estimations, and big, built like a doorman should be. And he was arguing with a little lady that was trying to get in, and he had her ID, and they were going back and forth. I was only about 10 feet away, but I really couldn't tell what they were saying because it was just too much commotion. But the lady was screaming. Well, she reached out, and she just slapped this target, okay? So she just used the palm, and this guy dropped like a sack, okay? And so I've seen it done in reality. Okay, I've heard of real-life experiences with it, so I can only surmise that it was a good target for Hohan Sokens to have utilized. Also remember that not all the targets were fatal, okay, but they did work to, or they sought to dysfunction their opponent so they could get in and further escalate the situation. And with whether that be with a weapon on a battlefield or even in hand-to-hand combat. They didn't mess around, okay? A fight was a fight, and if someone was fighting you back then, I guess your honor was at stake as well. So things got a little bit more escalated. Nowadays, with the brutality, it's getting more and more important to learn devastating targets for your opponent. And Hohan Sokens' notes are filled with those such targets. So stay tuned for the extended. We're going to go into some demonstrations, a little bit more detail on the anatomy, getting into the three-dimensional video as we explore the body like a autopsy, not an autopsy. We're going to explore the body with 3D video like we were doing cadaver research. We're going to go in there so you can see the structures, see how they could be struck, and be affected. So stay tuned for the extended videos here on YouTube, Patreon channel, and of course the Platinum subscription.